My name is Joe Tache. I am a socialist running for the U.S. Senate in Massachusetts with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Here to talk about the issues that people in the Merrimack Valley care about, including housing, immigration, and healthcare. And I'm a community organizer, so I know every election season, politicians come around and make promises based on what they think people want to hear, but they actually never deliver on making those changes happen. And I fundamentally believe it's because both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are more accountable to the corporate donor class, the billionaires that support them, than they are to the very people who make this country run. And that's why I'm running a third party campaign to make sure that we're fighting for our needs, not for the needs of that billionaire class.
So you're not running as a Democrat?
That's right.
So you're just as a third party?
I'm a third party candidate, so I won't be on the primary ballot in September, but you will see me in November under the name Socialism and Liberation.
On how confident are you, like you will be able to assemble a large coalition as a third party candidate? It might be very difficult for you, but what is the plan?
Yes, 100%. It's very difficult to build a third party in the United States, and that's been set up intentionally by the Democrats and the Republicans to maintain the status quo. So I'm very confident in the need to build something different because I've lived in this society for 31 years. I've seen that no matter if a Democrat or Republican is in office, life keeps getting harder for us regular everyday people while the rich continue to get richer off of our backs. And so even though there's many barriers that get put up to building a third party, I believe that there's nothing more important, because if we want to really deliver a society where people's needs are prioritized, where we can address climate change, the crisis of artificial intelligence, decrease the military budget in our society, these are things that the Democratic and Republican parties have no solutions for. So even though it's very difficult, I'm very glad to be doing it. And I've seen excitement all across the state around our campaign. And I'm excited for there to be more as we finally get more exposure through events like this and through the media in the lead up to the
So
election.
where do you stand right now with ICE terrorizing people all over the streets? And if elected, you go to Washington, what can you do to help change this for the immigrant communities?
Yes. I mean, I think it's one of the most important issues in our society today. I'm the son of an immigrant. My father is from Cameroon in West Africa. And I understand that immigrants are actually the backbone of our communities, whether it's in agriculture or healthcare or manufacturing and logistics, that immigrants are the backbone of the economy and part of our communities that are building their lives here. And ICE is something that's been around since 2003 with, again, the support of both Democratic and Republican politicians. And so I think fundamentally, we need to stop the demonization and scapegoating of immigrants, make people understand that the issues that we're facing in our society, from scarcity and a high cost of living, has not been caused by immigrants. It's caused by a small class of people who are hoarding all the wealth at the top, and clarifying that for people in the U.S. Congress, fighting not just to abolish ICE, but actually to completely transform our immigration system to one where immigrants are treated with full and equal rights and have a pathway to citizenship is one of the top priorities.
So what are three things you think you're not happy in Washington right now? If elected, you will fight to change right now as we speak.
The number one thing is that the political class is more accountable to the paid lobbyists in Washington, D.C., and the donors that they represent. And so I'm fighting to break from that and actually represent the people of this country. I think, secondly, you see a major crisis in healthcare, and people have had their Medicaid cut, have the Affordable Care Act cut. And that's because not just of the Republican attacks, but the Democratic Party has failed to create a healthcare system that provides healthcare as a right to every single person. And so that's something that I'm fighting for as well, to ensure that healthcare is universal and treated as a human right. And then the last thing is war and militarism. We spend over $1 trillion every single year on the military, on waging wars abroad, on bombing schools and hospitals abroad instead of building them here at home. And again, that's something that has been supported over my entire lifetime by both Democrats and Republicans. Why has the military budget consistently gone up when we're told we don't have enough money for things like universal child care? It's not because we don't have the money. It's because the politicians in charge don't care to manage those resources in a way that prioritize people's needs instead of, again, their rich donors and the military-industrial complex.
So what is your response for people who might think you're just a small, a candidate who might be doing more to hurt other candidate than having a chance to be elected? What can you respond to them?
Well, the incumbent in this race, Senator Ed Markey, has won a lot of elections, and he's proven that he can win elections for over 50 years that he's been in office. But is the point of our politics and society just to win elections? If so, then vote for somebody who's been in office for 50 years and overseen a long-term decline in quality of life for people in Massachusetts. But if actually you want a change, then we need to break from the status quo and break from politicians like Ed Markey who represent the status quo. And that's why I think it's important for people to take that brave step. If you understand, which all of us do, that the two-party system that the political class has not been meeting our needs over the entirety of your lifetime, like it hasn't been for the entirety of my lifetime, then it's time to do something different, right? They say the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and to expect different results. We're tired of that. We don't have time for that when people are dying every single day, being terrorized by ICE, are not able to afford the basic things they need to survive. And we're seeing so much money spent on war and militarism rather than solving the problems that we're facing in our society.
So there's only 82 days left before the election. How do you plan to make yourself known to, like, communities who don't necessarily know you, or like Asian communities? If you're really serious about being elected, how do you plan to, like, reach those communities who do not really necessarily know who you are now?
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing door knocking, social media, outreach all across the state, going to events like this. The reason that people don't know about me is fundamentally because of the way that the corporate media conspires in order to protect just the Democratic and Republican parties. We've been confirmed to be on the ballot since April, and yet I've been excluded from debates, been excluded from candidate forums. And why shouldn't people be able to hear from everybody who's going to be on the ballot and about the proposals that they have? So I think if people are out there watching and are upset that you haven't heard about me yet, you should be reaching out to the local media, be reaching out to other organizations that are holding events for candidates and ensure that my voice is up there. Even if you don't know if you're going to vote for me, everybody should know about the options that they have and not have the election predetermined by the corporate media and who they decide to platform or who they decide not to platform.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.